So after the DNC and after the RNC, the People's Party held their convention this past weekend. This is an effort to create not just a third party, but the idea is to form a new left major party focused around working people. They attracted a lot of high-profile speakers, people that our audience will know quite well. They had Danny Glover, Chris Hedges, Dr. Cornel West, and Nina Turner, Marianne Williamson, Senator Mike Gravel, and many more to speak throughout the day. Of course, it was socially distanced event a la the DNC, so everything was done remotely. Grabbed a couple of what I thought were some of the highlights from the day. Let's take a listen.
There is only one choice in this election, and that is the consolidation of oligarchic power under Donald Trump or the consolidation of oligarchic power under Joe Biden. The oligarchs with Trump or Biden will win again, and we will lose. The oligarchs made it abundantly clear, should Bernie Sanders have miraculously become the Democratic Party nominee, they would join forces with the Republicans to crush him. The oligarchs preach the mantra of the least worst to us when they attempt to ram a Hillary Clinton or a Joe Biden down our throats, but ignore it for themselves. They prefer Biden over Trump, but they can live with either. Only one thing matters to the oligarchs. It is not democracy. It is not truth. It is not the consent of the governed. It is not income inequality. It is not the surveillance state. It is not endless war. It is not jobs. It is not the climate breakdown. It is the primacy of corporate power, which has extinguished our democracy and left most of the working class and the working poor in misery, as well as the continued increase and consolidation of their wealth. It is impossible to work within the system to shatter the hegemony of oligarchic power or institute meaningful reform. Change, real change, will only come by sustained acts of mass civil disobedience and mobilization, as with the Yellow Vest movement in France and the British-based Extinction Rebellion. The longer we are fooled by the electoral burlesque, the more disempowered we will become.
And John Adams, one of our forefathers of the country, warned us, I believe it was Adams, when he said when political parties take over the government, when they become so powerful, that will be the end of the United States as we know it. Well, people, don't you think we're kind of there right now? The two political parties have really taken over. And I like to refer them as really the one political party. They're the corporate party. Now, why do we need to elect a third party president? Here is why. No matter if you elect Trump or Biden, the polarization is going to continue and it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. The only way out is to give them a common enemy, and that's what the third party does. They fear the third party more than anything else, and guess who knows that from experience? You're looking at him.
Now, if you look at the great social justice movements in our history, such as abolition, such as women's suffrage, third parties were extremely important. Abolition did not emerge from a major party, it emerged from the abolitionist party. Women's suffrage did not emerge from a major political party, it emerged from the women's party. Social Security did not emerge from a major party, it emerged from the Socialist Party. But I say that in complete support of Ryan and Nick in saying that they don't want to think of this as a third party. They want it to be a major party. And I agree with everyone here in saying that if the Democrats don't feel that there's a real alternative to their corporatist agenda, then at this point, with everything we've been through, with what happened to Bernie in 2016, what happened to Bernie this year, and to be honest, what happened to me? I've been there. I know it from the inside. The Republican Party has been so taken over by a corporatist agenda, they don't even pretend that they're not. But the Democratic Party is very interesting, isn't it? It sees all the suffering that is created by a corporatist agenda, and it does, in ways that it can, try to ameliorate the suffering on the periphery. But neither the Democratic Party any more than the Republican Party will actually challenge the underlying forces that make all that suffering inevitable.
So we got some dragons to slay, baby. We got to slay the dragons of neo-fascism. As Dr. West said, the gangster in the White House, he must go. There is no doubt about it. He must go. And I agree with Dr. West that people are coming at this at all angles. I get it. See, I'm not a vote shamer. I'll leave that for the professionals. Hello, somebody. I'm just old fashioned, and I just believe that folks who are running for office ought to earn the vote. And how do you earn the vote? You don't earn it by doing the same old, same old. You earn that vote by giving people a vision. See, you got to have a vision that provides provision for the people.
I watched a good bit of the convention this weekend, and, you know, obviously a lot of powerful voices, a lot of honest voices, a lot of brave voices. Because
Chris Hedges, man, I was like, whoa.
he goes hard every time. He goes super hard. And look, it takes real courage to step out there just to speak at a convention like this, let alone to organize what they want to be a major party effort to challenge the two parties. And part of why I selected these clips, though, is to show that there's still a lot of debate and uncertainty about exactly what the right direction for the American left is. Obviously, the organizers here want this to be the alternative to the Democratic Party. You heard from voices like Marianne, who represents, I would say, more of my view that a third-party effort can be good to force issues, to put pressure, but the real possibility for change comes from hijacking one of the major political party institutions. So you heard voices that were more in that vein. You heard voices more like Jesse Ventura, who's all in. Yeah. He's like the OG on the third party, and look, he made it work in winning the governor's mansion. So anyway, really interesting to hear these voices, and I think you had a lot of common themes of how little choice is actually offered to voters, how demotivating and how much you disenfranchise people by not offering them a real choice, a lot of anger at the fact that we find ourselves in this situation, and the beginnings of a conversation about how to move forward.
We're going to track it closely. That was really interesting convention all around, and glad we could pick some of these highlights for these people.
Yeah, I really encourage you to take the time to watch it, because they did have a lot of great content and great speakers, and applaud them for the effort. All right, more Rising for you after this.